I'm Janice Fisher with Pitt Community College's English Language Acquisition Program. Another pathway for our students is in the education field, and speaking with me this morning is Melissa Reese with the Early Childhood Department at Pitt Community College. Thank you, Melissa.
Thanks for having me, Jan. I'm really excited to talk about our program.
Okay, now in the Early Childhood program, there are several options for our students. There are certificates, diploma, and a degree. Can you explain some of the differences?
Sure, you're absolutely right. We have a lot of different options. Some of our students come to us just wanting to get a credential. The credential is earned when you take EDU 119, which is your Introduction to Early Childhood Education, and you get a C or better. You will apply to the state for this credential. Along with your application, you will send your transcripts, and you'll get a certificate or a credential that makes you eligible to work as a lead teacher in a licensed North Carolina facility. A lot of our students do that, but we encourage them to go a little further because we think it's really important to have a good educational background in early childhood. We do have certificates. We have about 5 different certificates, and they just are about 5 or 6 courses that you can take that are very centered on things like infant toddler development, special education, administration, school age development. So if a student really wants to work in an after-school program, they may want to focus on finishing those 5 or 6 courses and make that a goal for themselves. If they want to go a little further, then they can work on their 2-year associate's degree, which is a 77 credit hour program. They will have to take the placement test for this program in math and English. Most of our first year early childhood courses, you have to have completed DRE 097 or placed out of it. And then for our second year classes, the majority of them you have to take DRE 098 or place out of that.
So for the degree and the diploma and the certificates, there are different requirements for the students. Okay.
Yes, and some of those requirements for your certificates, you may have to have the placement test and may have to have prerequisites for those as well.
So a student could take their time and kind of build their credentials?
Exactly. They could start off with 1 certificate, and maybe they want to add another certificate, and maybe they want to add a 3rd certificate. And then by that time, maybe they are just about ready to get their associate's degree, and they can go ahead and finish their associate's degree.
Okay, so what are some of the career options with the various certificates, diploma, degrees, and even working maybe in an elementary school? What would the process be?
Well, it varies. In North Carolina, to work in a licensed center-based program, you only have to be 18 years of age, have a criminal background check, and have your credential, the credential that's earned through EDU 119. But there's a lot of people that you will be competing with at that level. So we do encourage our students to work on their associate's degrees. We do have employers in the community that only hire early childhood students with their associate's degrees. With that said, students can work in a center-based private child care center. They can work in Head Start. They can work in the North Carolina pre-K program as an assistant. And if they do work in that program, they do have to have an associate's degree by Department of Public Instruction rulings. They can work at Child Care Resource and Referral, and that's a federally funded program that provides training to child care providers and also provides resources to families. So each county does it differently. It could be a home-based program and parents as teachers. It could be going to a resource room and getting resources. It could be going to trainings, but those are other areas that our students can work in as well. So all of those are options for our students.
Now, what is the curriculum like? What would be some obstacles that an English language learner might face taking your classes?
I think obviously the language could be difficult, communication, being familiar with common practices in child care and child rearing and parenting. I actually feel like our international students and students who speak more than 1 language are beneficial to the program. And there are employers looking for students that speak more than one language, and it adds to the diversity that children encounter early on. And early on is a great time to learn a second language, so we definitely are encouraging your students to consider this as an option. So there's a lot of need for people who speak more than one language and are familiar with the cultural practices of different families. It's important for our families to feel welcome at the centers or in their child care situations they're in, and it's important for the children to feel welcome as well.
Now walk me through the process. So if a student says, this is something I want to do, I want to continue my education at Pitt Community College, I want to go into the early childhood program, where do they start?
Well, the first thing they would need to do is to take the placement test. And once they got their scores, we could figure out where they needed to be in their general education courses and what early childhood courses they were eligible to start with. So oftentimes if a student has a lot of developmental courses to take, we go ahead and get them to enroll in the early childhood introductory course to make sure it's a good fit for them, and then they can start working on some of their general education classes while they're working on their developmental classes if they need to do that.
Are there any other credentials that are available for a student in your program?
In addition to the early childhood credential, students can earn their administration credential, which is necessary to have in order to be a director in North Carolina licensed child care programs. And they can earn that by taking EDU 119, Administration 1, and Administration 2, and earning a C or better in all of those courses.
It sounds like a great program, a lot of options as far as credentials and certificates and actually job opportunities in our community. So thank you so much for speaking with us this morning, Melissa. And I'm Janice Fisher with Pitt Community College's English Language Acquisition Program.